Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by my colleagues, Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura, say what's up.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan, say what's up.
What's up?
But here it's Thursday, 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It's time to pod it up, right? Kahai, can that be when you catchphrase? Let's pod it up.
That's like the new verb.
T-shirts and stuff, you know, like people like that, right?
Yeah,
like that's a cool new thing. I'm sure that's taken. I think maybe right.
What all the kids are saying already?
Yeah. You guys heard of these things called podcasts, everyone?
Yeah, it's a new thing. You might not have heard of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. We answer any and all of your ukulele questions. You can ask us live because we are live right now. So we have a live chat going on. So ask away. Preferably ukulele questions, but we take any and all questions. And you can ask us stuff like, what's Kahai's favorite ice cream? Or what is your favorite ice cream, Kai?
I think. Oh, do you not know? Cause
I don't. I know you know mine.
Yeah,
I say it all the time, everywhere. Like people don't even ask, and I just tell them.
Yeah, maybe that's why you don't know, because that is also my favorite ice cream too.
Oh yeah, really?
Yep.
Right on. Chocolate mint chocolate chip.
Yeah,
right on. Mint chocolate ice cream. Anyway, so stuff like that. You can ask whatever, or like what strings do you use? Maybe I should have gone with that instead. You know, you can ask us any kind of ukulele questions. We'll try to answer them as best as we can. I'll try to answer as best as I can. These two guys will come in with their 2 cents. We also have computers, so we can look stuff up, and just in case we don't know the answer, we're just being honest, guys. We're going to try to give you the best answer possible at this the moment that you ask them. Right? Can I say that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right on. So, hello, everyone. Kahai, give me the first question, bud.
Well, there's a question, and it has some pictures, has some details to go into.
Okay.
But then there's also a student review, so I don't know.
By the same person?
No, different people.
Okay.
You want to do the question first?
Sure.
So the question is from Ben. And he said, hi guys, my ukulele has a hairline crack about 3 inches long on the bottom side that runs from the grain of the wood. The crack is hard to see, but if you run a finger over it, you can tell that one side is higher than the other. The wood is koa, so I'd like to keep it in good shape.
Yeah.
Wanted to seek your advice about what I should do. And then he has like some options that he listed that he was thinking he could do. So he said, ignore it, glue the crack back together. He has like crazy glue and type on, or take it to a luthier for a repair with a cleat. Any idea of the ballpark cost?
Ooh, so that's did you mention what kind of ukulele it was? Like,
it's
kind of brand, what kind of size? Like
no, he said it's koa, or he might have mentioned the brand. But here is pictures that he sent along with it of the crack itself.
That's not too bad.
Are you putting it on screen?
Yeah,
I'm putting it on screen for Aldrine to check it out.
It on
but what about the
for the audience?
The audience, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even know. I didn't ask him if I could put it on screen.
Oh, that's
so.
true. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's true. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, good job, guys. Looking out for us.
Yeah.
Thank you. It doesn't look that bad, but I mean, I'm not there. I don't feel it. I don't see it. You know, I see it in the pictures and stuff, but I don't see it in front of me. You are correct in the choices that you have, but honestly, it depends on your ukulele. If you bought just like a $200-$300 ukulele, it honestly wouldn't be worth it to go and fix it. So I would just ignore it if it's but I guess if it has sentimental value to you, like maybe somebody gave it to you that that meant a lot and whatever. If it's like a special whatever it may be, then maybe because the repairs for something like that is pretty pricey, and it just depends on who you go to. It could go from like $100 and up. Really is what it is. So on a $300 ukulele on a tiny little crack and stuff, it might not be worth it. That's like a third of what you paid for the entire uke. Where like, it's fine. I mean, I've had cracks on my ukulele. I've had like holes in my ukulele that I just let it go because honestly, it would just be a lot more expensive to fix. And you you can go to a luthier and get it fixed, but I would not try to do it yourself. You know, like you might cause more, unless you're pretty good at woodworking, unless you're experienced in doing that, unless you have built ukuleles before or try your hand at it or really know what you're doing. I wouldn't. I mean, you mentioned like crazy glue and stuff. That's not something that you would normally use on wood anywhere or ukuleles. So maybe not. You know, like I wouldn't do it myself just for the sake of. It might get worse. You know, leave it to a professional. And if you're asking about like the cost, anywhere from $100 and up. It just really depends on how deep it is. If it's just a scratch and it's not, you know, but it seems like it's not just a scratch because he says there's a difference in like the, you know, because he feels like there's a difference in there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is definitely a notable crack, so that's going to be at least $100. I would say, but unless you go to somebody like that can do it for cheap, like $50 or whatever. But you get $50 worth of work or whatever, you know, like, and still $50 off of your $300 ukulele. You know, I mean, I don't know. It really depends because I don't want to say the wrong thing and people are like, what? My great uncle, you know, had this ukulele from like 1930 whatever, you know, so I don't know any of that like detail, but as far as from what it looks like to me, you could probably ignore it and it would be okay. And if it is an expensive uke and it means a lot to you and stuff, it might be worth it to do. So on say like $1,000 ukulele or even an $800 ukulele, maybe that might be maybe worth it to salvage. But for the most part, since it's down here, people are not gonna really see it. It's not gonna do too much to the sound unless you notice that there is a change in the intonation. That's maybe when I would suggest changing the or getting it fixed. But other than that, if it doesn't really affect the sound, if it doesn't affect the intonation, you can just leave it and it should be okay. If it gets bigger, then maybe go see somebody, you know?
Jim mentioned too that you could probably bring it to like a luthier or somebody and ask for a quote so you can find out how much it's going to cost anyways before you go into it. So you might, if you decide to take it to a luthier, that's, and you're kind of worried about the price being too high,
right?
That's where you can kind of find out how much it's going to cost for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I went to like a music store and I just inquired because I mean I can change my own strings, but I've always been kind of interested like how much music stores charge and stuff. I even asked Mike like how much he charges, and he says like $20 to charge to change the strings. That's not including the price of the string,
plus the string
the string. So it could be like $30-$40 just to change strings. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you could just change your strings. Like you just buy the strings. I don't know, like a set of GHS for $5 online or whatever. You know, like it doesn't. So if you're not used to changing strings, or if it's your first time. You don't want to, change it with some super fancy strings like AG, AQ or anything of those, like $10 and up. You could get $5 and just change yourself for free. Like, so if something that as simple as like a string change can cost like $20 minimum, and that's just for the labor. Labor.
You can imagine.
You imagine a crack like that, even though it's it's not a hairline crack either. You can definitely see it, but no one's looking down here in your uke. So aesthetically, it's not really going to make too much of a difference. So
it's not a crack on the top. It's like on the side.
On the sides. So the top
would not the top or back.
The top would make a difference in sound, and definitely would make a difference in in intonation, because the crack might warp the wood a little bit, But other than that, it's
even then we've had
that's true.
cracks on the top and. We've just left it, and
it sounds fine.
Sounds fine. Yeah, as long as there's no buzzes or anything. Sounds fine. And I would recommend to make sure that it's properly humidified.
So it doesn't get worse.
So it doesn't get worse. Yeah. But I would leave it.
I would too.
We were talking, right? Me and you, Aaron, right? And we were like saying that especially if he gets it fixed, after he gets it fixed, he should humidify it properly to make sure it doesn't break again or something else happens.
Wait, is this person not from this country?
Yeah,
right?
they're
okay. I think I know who this person is.
Their name is Ben.
Yeah. They bought it. I don't want to say it because I don't know if he's comfortable with stuff, but I know this person, and I've seen that ukulele. It's a Kanilea. It's a Kanilea ukulele.
Okay.
Yeah. They bought one, and they bought it for relatively cheap. Yeah.
So I mean, in that case, then you would have to spend to ship it to Kanilea because you would want Kanilea to do the repair.
So I wouldn't really trust just whoever to do that. It would be like a Kanilea thing. I would leave it alone. I would ignore it. You got a good price for it and stuff, and that's maybe what knocked off like a fraction of the price of what it should have been. And if it gets worse, like I think you should monitor it. Like, I mean, don't full on like pick on it every day or whatever, but like monitor it like just to see if it if it gets worse. If it does get worse, then maybe it's worth it to to kind of send it over and get it fixed. But for the most part, I would just ignore it, and I definitely would not do it by myself. Not on an ukulele like that. No, that's a beautiful uke, by the way. I've seen that ukulele.
Yeah, me and Aaron were talking too, like earlier, and I was like saying that kind of if you're playing a ukulele is like buying a brand new car, driving it around, and even though you're taking super good care of it, like selling it to somebody and being like, I bought it for this price, can you pay me this price? Like, if you play your ukulele, it doesn't matter. It's going to get worn some places, Like, that's just what happens when you play it. So, little, like, cosmetic stuff like that, like, if it's a ukulele that you're enjoying playing, don't try not to let that things get to you too much. Because it's just, like, those are just signs of wear, right? Yeah. Like, the same, like, when you drive a car, you check underneath and it's like, oh, there's some dings and some bumps and scratches.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I have a story. Like, I bought my first Stratocaster. I bought it from Good Guys over on Oahu. Yeah, and it was like previously owned by like somebody who was just playing it for church and so it's like immaculate. But on the bottom here, there's a little bit of the paint that chipped off and stuff. And I got it for like $500 for like an American standard Stratocaster. Retails at $1,200. I got it for $500. I'm like, oh yeah, no one's even gonna look at that. Like it doesn't even matter. But for that crack, and he's saying that there's a difference, in the in the feel and stuff. As long as it's not getting worse, it should be okay. As long as the intonation's okay, as long as it sounds fine. Don't worry.
And I think, like Aaron said, right, like use a humidifier, and it should, like, it won't fix it, but it should make it, not get worse. It won't like split anymore.
But I definitely would not try to fix it myself. Like that's
Another thing I wanted to mention too is that my dad had a ukulele that he really liked that had a crack or split down the back, I think, and he gave it to one of his kind of friends who's like a quote unquote luthier, and so that friend like fixed it for him.
Fixed it.
Well, it's smooth now. There's no crack or anything. But my dad was so disappointed afterwards because he's like, oh, he refinished it, and the new finish that he put on it just killed the entire sound. So like that's, if you're gonna take it to somebody, make sure they know what they're doing. Like try and see if other people have gone there. Try and look for reviews. Try and look for pictures. Evidence that they can fix what you're bringing, and they'll do a good job. Because otherwise, they might make it worse.
Usually it wouldn't be too bad, but because you bought it like second or third hand, like someone already had it, and then it was like passed off to you. But if it was like you who bought it from Kanilea, if you show them pictures of that, maybe they would like pay to to ship it over, or maybe all you would have to do is pay for shipping. But because you're like the second owner or third owner, like I don't know what the line is on that changes a lot of things. And I think it's under warranty, like if you're the first owner, or it might still be, I don't know. Ask Kanilea if you really want to, if it really bothers you really want to get it fixed. Ask Kanilea, ask them for a quote and see what they'll say. But for the most part, I mean, honestly, I would just leave it.
I'm sure, and they're great, right? With like, they'll try and work with you. They'll try and help you out as much as they can. So
Kanilea is great. They're awesome. I love Kanilea.
Please keep sponsoring.
Please keep sponsoring this show. I've given up on Itoen. I haven't given up on you, baby. That's forever be my baby. Itoen. Although I'm not drinking Itoen today, but This is from the same place that I had green tea from last week or the week before. Way better. This is what it's supposed to taste like. Yeah, not sparkling matcha. This is matcha latte. It's just matcha with milk, you know, and unsweetened. Good. I can taste the milk. I can taste the matcha. That's all I need, you know. Never get the sparkling one, Kahai. Not from there. And I won't even say it because they're usually great, and I don't want to. Yeah. I don't ruin the reputation.
So
they're
trendy, awesome. Sparkling.
Matcha is life, man. I love matcha. So, hopefully that answers your question, Ben. Good luck, and yeah, don't worry. It's not that bad. Yeah, you have for cheap. it's a price to pay, maybe, you know.
Yeah. So we have a couple questions in chat.
Yeah.
Chris and Sue said, if I try a new set of strings that are thicker than my current strings, I have to make an adjustment to the nut. If I decide to go back to the original strings, will I have to change the nut, or is it okay to use narrow strings in a wide nut slot?
Ooh, good question. Usually it's okay. You know, like I mean, I've put high G and low G on the same nut and stuff, and a nut that will like accommodate a low G also accommodates a high G. It just in my experience, you know, like that's a very technical question. I haven't had any problems doing it. I didn't need to like adjust the nut at all. And usually, you know, when you're changing strings, the string shouldn't be so thick that you have to adjust the nut, right? Like it's not usually a thing.
Yeah. So I think if you're like you said, like going from a high G to a low G, then you might have to adjust the nut a little bit.
Yeah, and even then, like I didn't adjust the nut. Like I mean, like well, maybe on a soprano, I did it on a soprano just because it was a soprano. It's like really like small, you know, the slot for the string, and it was not bad. I put a high G in it afterwards, and it was okay, but. You know, so I think it's okay. You don't have to adjust it too much. I mean, if you already did make the adjustments for the low G and you're going back to high G, don't worry about it. Unless it's creating like a major buzz or anything like that, it should be all right.
And even if it's creating a major buzz, like we said earlier, the best solution, right, is to take it to a luthier or take it to somebody who can fix it professionally.
Yeah,
but if you want to do it yourself, the way to do it is you just put a minuscule dot of super glue right like in the slot, and you kind of dry. You kind of like sand it down, and then that'll just give it more material, so it's not buzzing as much.
Yeah, but that's I mean, do it at your own discretion.
You
know, like
we're not advising to do that.
That's
these statements are not backed up by Ukulele Underground, and it's just solely of the opinions of Kahai Fergan.
Something else I've done too to fix, well, not fix buzzing, but fix some problems.
Yeah,
is taking pencil lead and you just rub it against the nut.
Yeah,
and it kind of creates like another like more
layer of graphite.
Yeah, and then that will probably help less if it's like really buzzing because the hole is too wide.
Yeah,
but it might help. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the notches in the nut are just to keep the string in place.
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be the exact width of the string. It's as long as like the string can sit in there and not move too much.
Yeah, that's it. That's really it.
Yeah. So you don't actually have to adjust it unless. I mean, if you're a professional musician and you have your strings set up exactly how they are, and you want your ukulele to perform at its best, then maybe you should adjust your nut to that string setup. But otherwise, don't touch it, and then you can change your strings to whatever you want.
Yeah,
and then a month later, if you don't like that, then you can change it to something else, and it should be fine.
Yeah. I've even done it like in the same song, you know, like when I was doing The Simpsons. Like I first recorded like one of the first parts is with a low G. It was like a super soprano low G.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh crud, like I forgot to do the to do the rhythm part, you know, and I didn't want the low G sounding rhythm, so like I took it out, like swapped it out because I had extra strings in my in my case. Swapped it out. It was like that same day, maybe that same couple hours, you know, and it was okay. Like it's
Yeah.
Turned out just fine.
I think the only time you gotta the only time you would have to make the notch wider is if you were going from a super thin high G to like a wound low G, and if it's like not sitting in the notch.
Yeah.
But if it's if it's sitting there, if it's staying in place, and when you strum, it's not like hopping out. Then it's fine.
That's really
just,
it. Yeah.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
So like Chris and Sue, they kind of came back with like they're saying that they're switching from a narrow fluorocarbon to a thicker nylon, but the material doesn't make a difference.
No.
Yeah.
The diameter.
It's actually pretty negligible. The difference in the
it's not that bad.
As long as it both are listed for ukulele, right?
Yeah.
Like they're both ukulele string packs, they should be fine.
Yeah, it's not even wound or anything, right? It's just like a nylon. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
And then Rob had like another question too.
Okay.
Let me find it. Sorry, I think it's Rob.
I have a question for you, Kahai.
Okay.
What's your second favorite ice cream flavor? So just in case we go to an ice cream parlor together and I already got the mint chocolate chip and you're like, I don't want to copy Aldrine. Well, then what do you get?
I wouldn't get this from a parlor because I like a specific brand of this type of ice cream, but I like mango ice cream.
Which brand?
Is it the Queen's brand?
Have you tried Magnolia mango ice cream?
Yeah, I think theirs is good too.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite mango ice cream. Okay, go ahead. What's your question? So I just didn't want dead air.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to.
No. Remember that time we were at NAM and there was like a Cold Stone like downstairs from our hotel room, and I'm like, Kahai, you gotta try this. This is the Aldrine special. Is you take coffee ice cream, mint chocolate ice cream, and Reese's peanut butter cups as a fix-in or whatever, and they do the Cold Stone thing, and you had it as as an ice cream.
Wasn't it like almost like they make it into like a shake kind of,
almost,
or like put it in a cup or something?
Yeah, I think I had it as a shake, or I had it as a thing, and you had it the other way.
Oh yeah. That's right? pretty solid too.
So for all of you folks, you're gonna try the Aldrine special. I know Cold Stone's not a thing anymore for most places, but Kona coffee ice cream, if you can find it, mint chocolate chip, and just crush some Reese's peanut butter cups in there. Just forget about your diet for a day, and just have one on me.
I was gonna say the other one that I like trying at like ice cream parlors.
Yeah,
if they have it, and it's kind of become a fad, is ube. Yeah, so just try it out. Like see if their ube is
playing
good.
the strings to my heart right now with ube. Anyway, go ahead.
So this one is from Devin actually.
Okay.
And he said, I tried some new strings and they were very high tension. There was so much tension, I was worried that it might not be good for the ukulele. Is that a thing, or am I overly worried? They were the Logic high tension strings.
Okay. Really, you can tell if if you try to bend the string and it's just not not bending, or you feel like it's gonna snap when it bends, that's definitely way too high. But if you're stringing up your instrument and there's still, because these are super duper high tension strings that I have on mine. These AQ strings are very high tension, but there's I do a lot of bends and stuff to it and stuff, and it's okay, but I've never tried the Logic strings. But you can usually tell if you try to do a bend and it's just not cooperating, even after using 3 fingers to bend your strings. If it's not responding, then that means it is too tight, and that might be detrimental to your ukulele because it's gonna pull right here. Unless, even if you have a kanile and the relief goes into the ukulele instead of just on the top, it's still pretty detrimental. I wouldn't really do it because it might cause some bowing, on your ukulele. So yeah, even if it doesn't pop out your bridge, it might still bow it.
Yeah. So he was saying that the Uke Logic, he's tried the AQ strings and he likes that amount of tension, but the Uke Logic felt like even more than that. So yeah, that's kind of getting
it's pretty high because these are high. Yeah, these are definitely high tension strings. So I have no idea, but
we just gotta get some.
Yeah, we gotta get some and try it out for ourselves. But I would say if you feel uncomfortable with it, then I would not use it. Yeah.
Even for just like peace of mind,
right?
Yeah,
because I mean, if you don't enjoy it, or if you think it's too tight, then like I wouldn't stick with those strings anyway. Like you know what I mean? Like why would you want to play an ukulele that's tough for you to play? Just
or like like every time you play it, you don't want to strum or do things too hard.
You know, if you like AG X AQ. Didn't you just get AG cross AQ? Get like 1,000 of them or something, you know? That would really help my daughter out. No, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if you don't like or if you think it's too tight, then that's probably not going to be a string set for you. So, it's already a tell. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't put it on. Even if it's okay, you kind of have to put strings on that you enjoy, that makes you want to keep playing the ukulele or playing that specific ukulele. So I would give up on it. I don't know too much about it, so I don't want to tell people like, no, don't get these strings or whatever. I've never tried it. I don't know how tight it is. If it's tighter than these, that's pretty tight.
Kind of going back to like,
but if you like that,
yeah.
Kind
of going back to like Ben's uke problem too.
Yeah.
It's hard because like if that crack is gonna like, you know, he's gonna be thinking about it every single time he plays that uke, then yeah, it might be worth it to fix. But if it's something that he can like kind of out of sight, out of mind, then yeah.
Yeah, that's easy because it's down here, so you can't really see unless you go like this all the time, try to touch it and stuff. I had we're gonna talk about cards for a sec here. Like I opened up a deck of cards. I like the cards a lot, but I didn't realize I guess one of the cards got wet on the side, and you know, like it turns black or like there's that kind of darker color. So every time I shuffle it and whatever, there's like one black card on the side, and it really bothers me. And it's like, oh my god, I want to open up another deck because that's still good, and I want to throw that one away because the rest are still good. It's just like I'm in this conundrum where like, should I change it or not? So I understand, Ben, if you're like, oh, it's just crack,
it's just tugging on your mind, and it's just taking up all your time and not letting you enjoy the ukulele, then maybe fix it. So
so in this case with Devin, play with strings that you like. I mean, I always tell people to experiment with strings to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Clearly it's not working, but there are guys like Andrew Molina who we'll have here in 2 weeks, as a guest on this podcast. See that, Kahai? See that transition?
I wasn't
pro, baby.
I wasn't sure if it was like 100%, so I wasn't gonna bring it up. But yeah,
I just got a text. That's why I went like this earlier in the show because he just texted me saying yes, he will be here in 2 weeks.
Okay. Nice.
So a guy like Andrew Molina, who we'll have here in a couple weeks, he likes his super duper like tight. The tension just ridiculous. Like I played his ukulele. I'm like, how do you even bend these strings? Because it's ridiculous. Like I don't like it. But he's like, yeah, but the attack is so good though. I'm like, but
the response, the
response is awesome. But it's just, like I can't play anything on it because my fingers are too weak, I guess. I'm not. I don't do jujitsu.
Muscle, finger exercises.
Yeah, Andrew Molina is a very strong dude who's like, young, strong jujitsu guy. So maybe, for him, those kind of strings work and stuff. But I'm a frail old man that has to stick with these strings.
Well, I think I don't know if this is true. I've heard rumors that like BB King, as he went on in age, he had to start going down and start using less high tension. So like just make it easier on his fingers. And
the high tension stuff is really for attack and for response, and it's because it's tight, like you just kind of touch the string just a little bit and it'll respond right away because it's it's so tight. It'll just kind of have that vibration that you want it. And on the opposite end, if it's too low, like you're gonna have to put a little bit more in that attack in order to get a good response from your ukulele. But at the same time, it's easier to play because it's not as tight. You can do bends. You can kind of go throughout your ukulele. Up and down the frets with no problem. So you just kind of have to find out where yours is, and it sounds like you're over the edge right there.
Yeah. Apparently, Logic has hard tension and soft tension options.
Yeah.
So
and this is the super hard. or something?
I'm no.
Or just hard tension?
It's just hard tension and soft tension. But it's weird because they group them together. I think it's like when you select your tuning, it's just high G, low G, or smooth wound low G. But they say that you can use it for soprano, concert, or tenor. So they don't make a distinction on. So maybe it's that because it there's because they're you can use it for
whatever. Yeah, and you can. And maybe, technically you can.
Yeah, maybe it's because of that they tried to use like a general tension that would work for all, and then on a tenor it might be a little bit too tight.
Yeah, because if it works for a soprano, then that's definitely going to be pretty tight. So maybe that's the see, I love it that we have the internet now and just Google magic things, because we're not familiar with Logic strings. I stopped. Maybe I shouldn't say stop, but I haven't really experimented with new strings ever since I got I got signed by Aquila. But I do keep my my ears and eyes open for new stuff that comes out. So whatever my friends are trying, like I mentioned, Andrew Molina has a set of strings that came after mine. Craig and Sarah has a set of strings that they're doing, and just whoever I now go off by what my friends tell me, and I trust their opinion. They're like professional gigging touring musicians that kind of and I trust their opinion, and I know their style to kind of know like how how the string response is going to be based on their opinions.
And like some I feel like people ask like, oh, what string do you use? Thinking that one string is good for like everything,
to rule them all.
But then it's just like Craig and Sarah. I know that they have like specific preferences for what their strings feel like and sound like, right? And certain things like that they like in their strings, like I would put it on and I'd be like, it's okay, it's not bad, but it's just like I would prefer to have a string that's more on this side rather on this side. So it's finding what works for you, really.
It's kind of cool because like a lot of the artist strings are the best strings of that brand. Like for example, like GHS. I'm like I don't like GHS all that. I mean, I used to be a like a GHS only when I was like starting out and stuff because there wasn't anything else that was available.
Not too many,
and but like after a while, I found a bunch of other strings that were great. And I just kind of departed away from GHS. Not saying that GHS is not good. It's just that I found ones that were a lot better. But then like
for your style.
Yeah, for my style. Yeah. For Craig and Sarah, like I tried their strings. I tried it on their ukulele. I put it on mine and stuff. And I'm like, man, this doesn't sound like GHS at all. And it's like the best set that GHS has. And then I don't want to like toot my own horn or whatever, but like I'm not a fan of like like the regular Nalgut strings that Aquila uses, and I feel like my set is like the best like Aquila set that you can get. The sugars are pretty good too also. Like I don't know if you guys tried, they're like they're made out of like sugar, or what they call them, sugar strings. I guess some kind of sugar fiber or fiber from sugars. That sounded pretty good too. But these definitely, I put my name on them. That's how much I like them. And Jake, like Jake put his name on the J71s and stuff. Like even though his name's not on the packaging itself, all the ads that you see everywhere, like on Ukulele magazine or wherever, or the UKE magazine, it has Jake, like promoting those strings. Those are the best sounding like Deodara strings that they have. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the curated strings always top notch.
And we like the people we know, like they would like put in their, say like, oh, I like this about this string, or I don't like this about this string. So they probably finely tune the string to get where it is. So makes sense.
Yeah, put in the work in there.
I think Mike told me, I don't know if this is true, but Mike told me that guitar strings only come from like 3 factories or something.
Really?
All the brands of guitar strings. So like even that, guitarists like online, they're like, oh, these strings are the best. These strings are way better. But then you find out like, oh, they're the same strings. It's just one has the whatever
some kind
special
of
coating on it. From Martin or whatever.
It's like Taco Bell, where like I like gorditas. Like, well, I like chalupas. Yeah, chalupa's really just a gordita, but just like deep fried. Like the other thing is deep fried or whatever,
Exactly. So But
that's
In
awesome.
fact, what blew my mind was electric. You could use electric guitar strings on your acoustic guitar as long as the diameters are the same.
Good. Yeah.
Really?
shouldn't it be
For some
different?
reason, I just couldn't. I never made that connection, and I just thought that electric guitar strings were different somehow for the electric, for the
acoustic
pickup
guitar,
to be able to pick it up. But no.
I know that fact, and I still buy separate strings for my acoustic guitar.
Exactly.
It just feels Uji like putting on. Ooh, I don't want to put these strings on here. Like they're not made. They're
I'm not gonna put Ernie balls on my Martin. I just can't. It's just not. Yeah.
I learned that from when I used to go to Scotty's a lot to buy my strings and stuff, and now I just buy them online because I had that Strat, and then I have an acoustic guitar, and for theirs they sell the strings like a little bit more expensive, but you get one for free. So I would always go and I would just get whatever strings, and I would just use that like for both my electric guitar and my regular guitar because what's his name? Gilbert. He's like, dude, you can just use both of these. That blew my mind. So when I learned that too, it's like, oh snap! Because it was my Telecaster. He was working on it. He's like, what kind of strings do you want? I'm like, I don't know. What are good like electric guitar strings and stuff? He's like, honestly, these elixirs, they do pretty well on electric guitars. Like, really? I don't never use elixirs on mine. He's like, no, dude, this makes a difference.
I think that's what Mike said is that Martins and elixirs are made at the same place.
Oh yeah.
And elixirs just have the coating, right? The elixir coating.
Yeah.
But then Martin hikes up their price because they're Martin strings. So it's the same thing.
The same thing, like Kamaka strings and GHS strings, like the same thing, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. We're not saying, but
I've heard.
Yeah.
Some may say.
Some may say
that those Kamaka strings are basically GHS strings, just repackaged.
Some may say, not us, but
not us.
Some.
I've heard it. Some people are saying.
That. Like we're telling you to go to Taco Bell, and you know it's like, oh, this isn't on their menu anymore. But you can order all the parts of it on their menu and put it into roll it up into a tortilla, and then all of a sudden you got what they used to have. So same thing. You want to do the student review?
Yes. So we had a student review from who? Kahai?
Kathy.
Oh yeah, Kathy. That's right, Kathy. So she sent the student review last time, and we were talking about her kind of transitions from finger picking to to strumming, and that one was kind of a special case because she had like 3 different kinds of rhythms. So going from one to the other and to the other, and then back again to the second one. That matcha. That's the milk. Milk is coming out. That was a little bit tough, and it's a little bit tricky because there's three different ones and going. And I think through a private lesson, we kind of discussed how she can, go from one to the other. So I saw her recently, actually, and so for this new one that she just sent, I thought it was, good. I mean, the rhythm is consistent. She's not changing rhythms, from one to the other, which, there's nothing wrong with that, but just make the transition sound good, or at least smooth. For this one, the things were okay. The finger picking works, it's a great kind of melodic finger picking that she was using against a strum, because she did two different tracks. So she did a strumming track, and then she did a finger picking track on top of that, and she harmonized herself. It was pretty cool. I think it's an original song, right? Kahai?
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. The only comment that that I'm gonna make is really your finger picking style, because when you're finger picking, you want the angle of the finger picking to be about right here. Okay, so I'll show it to you on the close this way. Let's see here. So, all right, there we go. So the way she's playing it is she's playing it like this, and when she's finger picking, it's kind of like there's a and I'll go from here. It's going from here to here. It's like a diagonal kind of hit like this. So you're kind of using the the middle part, I guess your nail, and then that's it. You're not making really good contact with the string. What you should do is, instead of taking it from this angle like that, you want to take your pinky finger, instead of it being this way, you want to lean it that way. And what happens then is that you get this kind of attack. So instead of hitting the string like this, with the middle, and then just kind of like diagonally like going up like that, you're actually using your flesh. See that? Ooh. And you're getting a better sound out of your uke. So here's I'll do both ways. So I'm gonna do C, F, G. See, I'm really trying to make that sound good. But then when you do it this way, so from here you're seeing the there's that density behind the hit. Let's see here if you can see it from that. There you go. I'll make it there. Perfect. So you're hitting it with your flesh as opposed to just kind of hitting it like this, or just your nail and a little bit of the fingertip, that you're using to hit the string. But then this way, I'm kind of using my flesh. Huh?
That's like an exaggeration.
Yeah.
When you pluck hard.
Yeah, of course. Not like that. Yeah, but I'm just kind of doing that just so that you can see. I want to make an indentation on my finger. That's what I was trying to do. There, see it?
It's like that same motion, but not that same like.
So it's this way instead of the string going this way. Yeah. Okay, you don't want the long way. You want the short way. What do they call it? Hamburger style, that have the hot dog style, like when you fold the paper or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So you want it this way so that you're getting density from your finger. This way is just kind of sliding off with just the tip of your fingers. You might be able to hear it, but it's just not a good attack, not making good contact with the strings, therefore not getting good response. So you want the response to be nice, loud, and clear. So just kind of change the angle a little bit. So how you're going to do that is you're going to use your pinky finger and you're going to anchor. I see that you already kind of do that, but you're anchoring it and you're going, that pinky finger is pointing that way. What you want to do is have your pinky finger pointing, I'm going to move this to the side, into your ukulele like this. So you're anchoring it down. So the anchor doesn't look like this. On the side, the anchor looks like this. And now you just curl the rest of your fingers. Of course, you're going to play it over the sound hole so you can get the best sound. That's another thing that a lot of people do is like finger pick right here, which is okay, but because you're using this part of your it's part of your finger instead of it kind of coming out from this part, you might run into the problem of hitting the fretboard or getting unnecessary noises and sounds that you don't want to get. Plus, the closer you get to the 12th fret, the lower the tension of the strings are. So the lower the tension, the floppier, the attack in the strings get. So you want it to be a little bit closer so you have good tension on the strings and good attack. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So, but thank you, Kathy. Like I said, everything was good. Just just change the attack on your finger picking, and that'll just make it even better.
Yeah, she said too that she tried changing the cables to make sure those were good when she recorded, and then getting the volume right so she didn't get distortion and everything.
Right. Yeah, it was good. I digged it. Yeah. So I had no problems with that. That's right. Last time it was peaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
She said that she took off she used effects last time, and she thinks that maybe that's what caused it. So she took all of that off. But yeah. And I think you can use like effects like reverb and delay. Just try and dial it in. Instead of going 100% right, go 0 and then dial it up until you find what you like from there. And then most times it's usually lower than higher, right? Yeah,
I mean, dude, going from 15% reverb to 20% reverb is a lot already. I feel like when I go 20% on some of the play-alongs that we have here, it's like I'm in a cave. And it's really playing with that between 15 and 20% reverb.
It sounds like you go from like a room like this that has reverb in it to a grand cathedral hall, right?
Like a church.
Oh, yeah.
it really makes a big difference. So be careful of that. You still will get a better sound if you're using microphones, but hey, if you have a plug-in uke and that's what you're doing, then I think adding reverb is a good thing, because if you're plugging in your ukulele, it's gonna. I think we mentioned that last week. It sounds really, like just kind of right in your ear.
I think she said that she was gonna try switching over to her pencil mic too. So yeah,
if you have a pencil mic, use it.
Yeah, and that's what you said, right? Like you record first and you record it cleanly through a mic, and then you just kind of add on what little effects you need here and there.
If I'm doing a scratch track, then I might plug in my ukulele, because it doesn't really matter. We're not keeping that, and then re-record it over with the pencil mic, and then do the vocals over it. That's kind of what I do with the ukulele oversoul videos. Yeah, which next week. Well, today I uploaded Out Loud by Dispatch, which your sister Kahai was stoked about, because I guess she likes Dispatch. So
she's a fan of Dispatch.
She doesn't really, she hasn't really responded to too much stuff, but that one she's like, oh my god, excited, like, oh hey, I didn't know you were a Dispatch fan. I was surprised actually, because Dispatch is like late 90s, that group, and they're doing stuff, and they're not necessarily the most famous band, not too much people knew them, but I had more responses privately towards Dispatch than I did with, say, like Mega Man or like all these other ones that I thought was going to be more popular. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting.
It's like, did you go to college during the 2000s? You're welcome.
I guess so. Yeah, Joey Charles responded. He's like, it's like my favorite Dispatch song. I was like, I didn't even know you knew Dispatch.
For a while, like, wasn't the joke in our office, right? Like, ooh, can you teach me The General by Dispatch?
That's right. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to get like responses from people who are like, hey, I didn't know like you knew Dispatch. Awesome. Next week, Voltus 5. I've worn this shirt before. There's like the red shirt that I have with a little like Japanese like katakana on it, and I grew up like watching that show. I didn't know this because I was doing my research. I'm like, I want to do that song. Very, very, very catchy intro song, by the way, and that's why I'm doing it. It's a song from my childhood. I looked it up on YouTube just to see if anybody did like an ukulele cover. They are doing in the Philippines a live action remake series. Not a movie, a series of Voltus 5. I'm like, my God. It's like it's amazing. So I guess the timing is good. So people are gonna think like, oh, he's just doing it because there's this new thing like coming out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like I've worn that shirt proudly on my like on all the shows that I've done, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Very political, apparently. I didn't know that either. My YouTube search has led me through a weird rabbit hole with that show.
I think last time, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago when we did songs and we were talking about that. I linked Voltus 5 and I linked like the Sailor Moon like changing animations and stuff, right? Because we're talking about that kind of stuff.
And why does this matter? Well, because I'm planning to do a ukulele solo version of it, and who knows, that might show up in UU Plus solos, because I really like it. It's a very catchy tune. It's super fun to play. It's probably where I got the idea, like for Bandido Tyler going from G minor to B flat. But this one is like it's in C minor and then it goes to a B flat, which is kind of fun, I guess. There's it's mainly minor and it goes to major. So it's super fun. I might do a solo version of it and teach it to you folks here in Ukulele Underground, because I dig that song so much, and I think everyone should at least try it out. Even if you're not familiar with it, it's a fun song to play, especially if you're one of those like advanced players who are looking for like harder pieces. That's a fun one. It's gonna be a fun one, and Kahai's gonna have a fun time editing that.
Yep.
Right, Kahai?
Yeah.
Just like Chocolate Fontaines, had a fun time like just editing all those notes.
Yeah, I don't think Chocolate Fontaine was that.
Isn't that bad? What's the song that you've done for U Plus Souls where you're like, oh my god, just make it stop?
Probably Body Surfing. That one
really
kind of tough.
A lot of people like that one. A lot of people have used that to kind of learn that tutorial to learn that song.
I think when we did Senior Victor, there's things you were doing where I was almost like, I don't know how to show this visually. So yeah, it's just like, well, I'm just gonna try my best, and I put it. It's marked advanced for a reason. Please do not try it if you're just brand new to the ukulele.
Yeah, we had some fun pieces. Like I think Chocolate Fontaines was advanced, but then Puohone was nice and simple, and the one before Chocolate Fontaines was nice and simple. I think it was, what was it? What's that? Tiny Bubbles or something. Yeah. Now let's get to some good meaty ukulele solos, and that's what I got in store next. I think. Okay. I feel like
Rob asked, what humidifiers do you guys like? I'm using Oasis in the case.
The one.
They can be a pain, but are they decent? Humidity is 30 to 35% in winter.
Yeah, Oasis. I like using Oasis. The humidity here is pretty high, so we don't normally use humidifiers because there's way too much humidity. But like these ukuleles were made here, so it's not too bad. They already kind of know like how to acclimate to this to the humidity. But if I'm going somewhere that does need it, so I'm guessing Delaware needs it if it's at 35%. I went to Utah one time and it was just super duper dry. Oasis. Every time I go to a place like that, Oasis. And it can be anyone from the regular. What's the one in the black like little like circle black and Orco? What is that?
I forget.
So I forget. Yeah. But Oasis. It's like that long blue tube thing that you put into your ukulele. That works just fine.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't need to get fancy schmancy. Like and I've even had like where I was gonna go to, I think it was like Arizona, and I completely forgot that to bring a humidifier. So I went to a Starbucks or a coffee shop at the airport, and I bought an apple and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I just like poked holes in the Ziploc bag. Sliced some apples and stuff, and then that was my humidifier for that trip. And honestly, if you're not gonna be in a place for that long, you don't necessarily need the humidifier, but I'm guessing because Rob lives in a place that's kind of like that. Oasis. That would be my go-to. And then every time you put it back in the case, put the Oasis back on just to make sure. But also see if there's too much humidity, because that could also make a difference on your ukulele.
Although Hawaii gets pretty high, and we don't usually have a problem.
80s. I don't. They said, right, like if it's too high, I mean, I guess like maybe some Southeast Asian countries, like where the humidity is like over 100%, right, or whatever. Like, how does it get over that? But they can. But like they said, if the humidity is too high, you use silica gels, right, to reduce it.
Yes. Yeah. Silica gel. So silica gel takes out humidity, whereas the Oasis humidifier puts in humidity in there. If you're really worried about it, and if you live in a place like Delaware with 35 is not that bad. I've definitely seen worse, but if you live in those kind of places, Utah, Arizona, whatever, get a hygrometer. It's not that expensive. You can get relatively cheap hygrometers just to check what the humidity level inside your case. Yeah, Oasis. It's escaping me right now, but there's one that is like it's a little black tube thing. It looks like M&M minis, like that kind of tube.
Oh no, yeah, it's
like a Herco.
You were correct. Herco.
Herco. Okay, Herco. Herco. If you can find it, that I like that. Really, it's just like a stone inside or some kind of stone thing that you wet, and there's just like a hole in the in the cover. And that's what puts out the humidity. But it's not that bad. Apples work.
Once upon a time, we made a how to build your own humidifier video.
I totally forgot for Uke Minutes.
So so if you want to see a very young Aldrine Guerrero,
using finger armor,
using a knife.
I'm not allowed to use those anymore. It's been a long time, man.
That was one of the first videos that we made.
Yeah. That was... Where was that? It was on Oahu?
It was at Dan's house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Daniel Cummings.
We went to his house.
And I made spaghetti that day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see? Elephant never forgets.
When it comes to food.
Well, when it comes to, like, if you give me little details of things, then I can, I can start making the thing a little bit more clear based on what happened that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely cartoons, like Doug cartoons. If you tell me like, what this episode, I'm like, yes. So this happened, and then the more I get into it, the clearer that episode gets, and then I can just recite the entire entire episode.
Yeah, I think there is like a comic on Reddit that was popular recently, and it's like an elephant, and it's on a cartoon elephant on a date with the lady, right? And the lady's like, I can't believe you remembered my birthday. And the cartoon elephant is like, yep, we never forget. And then the waiter comes in and is like, oh, here's your dinner. Thank you for tonight, and then the elephant goes, you too. And it just shows the elephant in bed going like, you too. I can't believe I said you too.
I can't believe it.
Oh, man.
Double-edged sword having a memory that good.
So, yeah, it was a Darth Sidious, I think, because it was like a Star Wars a Pez dispenser, yeah. That we have, yeah. Darth Sidious, the Emperor. It was the Emperor.
Emperor.
Yeah, Palpatine, or whatever it was. Like it signified my turn to the dark side. It was foreshadowing my turn to the dark side. I've turned dark side a long time ago. I now don't care anymore, right, Kahai? I've done my heel turn.
Yeah.
Or could I still turn more heel?
Is this your third heel turn or your fourth heel turn?
I don't know. I'm like the Big Show, man. I've turned heel so many times now.
Yep.
Anyway, next.
I think that was pretty much it. Marima asked, what is low humidity for uke storage?
Well, they say that like anywhere from 50 to 60 is ideal for ukuleles. So you can kind of go based on that, and I mean 70 is fine as well. It just really depends, like on where you are and what the humidity is outside. The case. So inside the case, it might be all good. Then you take it out, and it's it's like something completely different. If it's like super far apart, and maybe like that might do something, but I don't know. That's really subjective. But I think anywhere from 50 to 50s and 60s are ideal.
Yeah, I think too. You said that like when you go around touring and stuff, you don't necessarily bring like a humidifier or you take
unless you live in that place.
Yeah, and even if you live in that place, like for everybody listening, like we don't want to freak them out, right? Being like, oh, I better go get a hydrometer and get a humidifier, and so. It's like if your ukulele has been fine where you live so far,
it's
like,
acclimated. Yeah,
it's acclimated, and maybe you might want to check check to make sure just to keep your ukulele in the best condition it's gonna be. But yeah, don't freak out and don't feel like you have to run out and go grab these things. They're just best practice, right?
Yeah. But 35 is a little bit on the low side. There's definitely like 10% humidity, and it definitely gets really, really, really low, and those are like super dangerously low humidity levels. 35 is getting there. Like I might use, every now and then, like I might use a humidifier, but I wouldn't put it in there all the time, with the risk of it being too much humidity.
Yeah. It also depends on the uke itself too, right? Some ukes are just built differently where they can handle more humidity, and some are built where they can handle less. So it really depends.
All right, so before we go, we're almost coming to a close. I just want to let you guys know of all the happenings here on Ukulele on the Ground. So a week from now, Ukulele Underground open mic once again, March 4th, Ukulele Underground open mic, and we'll definitely put some stuff up during this week to just kind of give you guys a heads up on that. But it's basically the same rules. Just go log on to Ukulele Underground or go to Ukulele Underground if you're not a member. There should be a link there that you can check out. We'll post something on our Instagram. We'll post something on our Facebook just to kind of make sure that everyone knows that it's going on. Tomorrow I'll say more stuff about it, but it's March 4th, right after this show, and that's basically the same time next week, about 2:20, 2:30, is it, Kahai? And we go on until everyone's done.
Yeah, well, I think we'll be there. Yeah. Like already around 2:20, 2:10.
Yeah.
And then officially start at
2:30. Okay. Yeah, and last time it was a lot of fun. There was like about 80 something people that stopped by. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of people, and there was a lot of amazing performances. So next week, if you guys have been working on stuff throughout this entire month, next week is your chance to let it shine.
We also were saying it'd be cool, right, if people are working on their songs for the song challenge, and they can bring it to the open mic and play it,
and then showcase your new written song. In 2 weeks, so March 11th, we will have Andrew Molina. He is now a confirmed guest. He will be joining us via Zoom here. So get your questions ready for Andrew Molina. He is an amazing, I want to say up and comer. He's already kind of, cemented himself in the ukulele world, especially like local Hawaiian ukulele, uke players. He's from Maui. If you've not heard of him, check out his stuff. Andrew Molina. He is a Nahoku Hano Hano Award nominee. So just like me, I guess. Also, I haven't really won one of those for me. I've won one, but not for me. But yeah, about that. It's awesome. He's a great dude. Amazing chops. There's an amazing approach to the ukulele. He's got great has a great mindset. He really he definitely brings the discipline of his martial arts background into his into his playing. Very disciplined when it comes to ukulele. So that's the kind of stuff that I would ask him. If no one's gonna ask him questions about that in a couple of weeks, I definitely will. And how how that kind of discipline goes into his daily practice of the ukulele, his approach towards the ukulele. But look him up on YouTube, look him up on Spotify. He's awesome. Ask him all the questions because he's great. And we're going to try to do more of these where we bring in guest ukulele players so that you can ask them whatever questions. And we'll let you guys know in advance before they come so that you can have your questions ready and mark your calendars for when they come.
He's been doing he's been posting videos with him playing electric uke, right?
Yeah.
So our electric solid body uke.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that and you have some questions for him, check or try and join next week live and or send in your questions early too. If you can't make it live, send it to our email questions@ukuleleunderground and we'll try and ask him.
Yeah, I have some really cool guests lined up for this year. So this is gonna be first of many of ukulele artist guests that we'll have here on the Ukulele Pod. See, it's a brand new podcast. It's a brand new kind of thing that we're doing. We're just slowly transitioning over to a new thing, but we're keeping a lot of old stuff. We're keeping the banter between me and Kahai nice, and high and right?
Cordial.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about ice cream before, so that was new.
Yeah, people care, Kahai. People care about what kind of ice cream you like.
Okay.
I hope. If you're not part of KFC, if you don't care what Kahai's favorite ice cream is, you're not a true KFC.
So something else I wanted to bring up too. We had another new intro.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
It's from Chris and Sue.
Sue.
I also wanted to mention that. So we're gonna be rotating between all these different intros, in the coming podcasts. Yeah. But if you still want to send your own intro or your own kind of video or whatever you want to do,
feel free.
We'll still take it, and we'll still, even though we did it as a song rating challenge, and the challenge is over, still send it to us. We'll use it. We'll try to use it. Yeah.
And because we want to feature, you guys, and we want to make sure that the world hears your music. I mean, our platform is very small, but we try because we love you guys, and we want to showcase our talented people. Okay, and. So does it matter if if you feel like I don't know about this song, maybe just send it over. Kahai will do his magic, right, Kahai?
Yeah, I'll try. Some of the intro songs that people sent, they were longer, so I had to cut it down to fit our little intro animation. Yeah. But then just send it over.
Kahai will do his best cut and paste job for you, right, Kahai?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try and make it fit.
Let's see what else is happening. Puahone, I don't know if I mentioned it. Puahone is out, which is a UU Plus solo on a beautiful Hawaiian melody. Nice and simple. It's not that it's not that difficult. Easy-ish chords, right? There's G, F, C, D. Something like that. Do you remember?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. It's very, very simple. Oh no, F. It's an F.
Yeah.
Yeah, F, B flat, E flat, C. So it's not that bad. Don't be scared of E flat. It's really super simple. That's available. The first of the month is coming up. That's some fun stuff coming up for that as well. I think March is gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it back to Puahone. Like, yeah, I think it's listed as like a intermediate kind of song. But actually, like the way you taught it, you can play it where it's just chords and then just picking. So like that is just like beginner level. So even if you're a beginner and you're not sure, check it out. You can kind of learn from that. And then if you want to get into the deeper like finger picking and ghost notes and stuff, you can get all the way there too.
Would you say it's the 10 levels of Puahone?
I think I actually when I wrote the description, I think I put 4 levels. So
4 levels of Puahone.
Oh, almost.
I mean, most of our tutorial videos are like that, right?
Yeah.
If you're a beginner, just watch or follow it up until your skill level. And then,
Even our monthly songs kind of go that way. You can just do downstrums and and all those chords if you want to. And then you can do an intermediate strum. You can do an advanced strum instead of like, here's the strumming pattern to whatever. It's just like, no more of that. Here's how you play. How you play this song. Just play. Just press, right, Kahai? Just press.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, we're going to press the goodbye button on you folks. And we'll see you guys tomorrow here on Ukulele on the Ground for Aloha Friday Live Jam. We also have live coaching that's going on tomorrow right after the jam. Don't forget next week the open mics, so mark your calendars and make some time because it's awesome. It's super fun and we'd love to see you there. All right, have a great weekend. Aloha.